Earth hung in silence beneath the cold expanse of space, a blue beacon surrounded by glittering stars and steel. From the observation deck of Fort Armstrong, the Lunar Military Command Post, General Aurora Kane stood motionless. Crystal panels curved above her like a transparent dome, reflecting the glow from monitor lights. Below, Earth rotated gently, serene, unaware of the storm approaching. The door slid open behind her. "General," said Colonel Rafe Morgan. "Command is requesting immediate presence. Signal detected over the Pacific Defense Array." Aurora kept her gaze on the silent planet. "Origin? Not ours. Not any known civilization." She nodded once and moved with purpose. Her boots echoed across the metallic floor as she entered the war room. A dozen officers stood at command stations, faces pale under fluorescent lights. Giant screens displayed static, then a flicker, as though the sky itself was trying to speak. "Put it through," Aurora said. The static cleared. A colossal alien warship materialized above Earth's orbit. It was vast and pitch black, shaped like a serrated blade of obsidian stretching 20 kilometers. Lightning crackled around its hull as atmospheric pressure bent beneath its presence. Every satellite feed, broadcast station, and communication line went dark, then turned to the same eerie image. A towering figure appeared on the largest screen. Pale, silver-skinned, crowned with jagged bone-like spines, cloaked in armor lined with pulsating violet veins. Eyes like molten iron. When he spoke, his voice seemed carved from stone. "I am King Exorvath of the Zareth Dominion. You have 2 Earth days to surrender your planet, your oceans, and your species. Refuse, and your world will be cleansed of all life." Silence consumed the room. Across Earth, billions watched. In hospitals, marketplaces, classrooms, even prisons, every screen mirrored his eyes. His message echoed in 27 languages. No escape, no misinterpretation. Then the signal ended. Geneva, Earth. The United Earth Council convened within the fortified chamber below the Alps. Holographic displays flickered to life, showing Aurora's projection from the lunar base. Council members spoke over one another, fear, disbelief, anger. "We must negotiate!" cried Chancellor Huang of the Asian Federation. "This is an empire older than our nations combined." "And hand them the planet?" countered Admiral Rousseau. "They'll slaughter us regardless." Aurora said nothing. She studied intel feeds showing movement within the alien vessel. Weapon energy cycles. Docked assault carriers. She had seen death on icy Martian deserts, watched cities burn during the insurrection. This was worse. President Elias Ward, chair of the council, slammed his palm on the table. "General Kane, your recommendation?" The room quieted. Aurora lifted her gaze. Her voice was calm, stripped of fear. "We do not negotiate surrender." Huang leaned forward. "He said he will eradicate us. Billions of lives depend on." Aurora's tone remained steady. "They expect submission. They see Earth as prey. If we kneel, we lose everything without firing a shot." A hush fell. Ward's brow creased. "Then what do we say?" Aurora didn't hesitate. She turned toward the live broadcast channel. "Patch me to their flagship." Technicians exchanged worried glances but complied. The screen filled with static. Then the stark throne room of the alien monarch appeared. King Exorvath reclined on a throne of dark metal, surrounded by armored guards. His eyes narrowed. "Have you come to beg, human?" Aurora stepped forward. "No." A faint murmur in the council chamber. Exorvath tilted his head. "Then you accept extinction?" Aurora's voice never wavered. "You have made one mistake, King of the Dominion. You think humanity bows. You won't last 2 seconds if you try us." For a heartbeat, silence persisted between stars. Then the alien king laughed. Not with humor, something colder. "Very well. 48 hours. Count every heartbeat until the last." The connection severed. In Geneva, outrage erupted. Some called her reckless. Others stared in stunned admiration. President Ward silenced them all. This is no longer diplomacy. This is survival. Aurora returned to the lunar war deck. Lights dimmed to crimson combat status. Officers straightened as she entered. Activate Protocol Trident, she ordered. Yes, General. Trident. Earth's most secret contingency. Hidden railgun stations orbiting the stratosphere, quantum-encrypted drone fleets beneath the Atlantic, EMP nets coiled around the upper atmosphere like invisible serpents. Weapons never tested in full-scale combat. Colonel Morgan hesitated. This confirms war. Aurora looked out toward Earth's quiet oceans. War was confirmed the moment they arrived. Across the globe, governments mobilized. Cities went dark under blackout protocols. Families crowded into underground shelters. Soldiers kissed children goodbye. Fighter squadrons launched from airbases in silent skies. Lunar factories accelerated production of exosuits and plasma artillery. On Mars, miners volunteered for frontline support. On Titan's methane fields, scientists transferred reactor cores to Earth's defense stations. Humanity, fractured for centuries, unified under a single truth: extinction was coming. Hours passed. The countdown ticked. Aurora stood alone later in the observation dome. Earth glowed with faint aurora rings. No stars moved. No ships stirred from the alien fleet. Too silent. Colonel Morgan approached quietly. You should rest. She shook her head. Not yet. He hesitated. Do you think we can win? Aurora didn't answer immediately. She traced the curve of Earth with her eyes, the continents where she grew up, the seas where her brother vanished during the Martian retreat. She remembered the blood on red sand, the silence after bombardment ended. Finally, she said, We don't need to win. We need to survive the first strike. After that, we show them what it means to fight humans. Morgan nodded, understanding. Behind them, alarms pulsed softly, the world preparing for war. 40 hours remained. The war room on Fort Armstrong buzzed with suppressed urgency. Tactical holoscreens surrounded General Aurora Kane, each showing global troop movements, orbital defense grids, and energy readings from the alien flagship. Lines of code streamed across operator consoles as satellites aligned over strategic locations. Earth was transforming from peaceful world to fortress. Status of Trident? Aurora asked. Phase 1 complete, reported Lieutenant Sia Patel. Orbital railguns online. EMP net calibrated to detonate on your command. Atlantic drone carriers surfacing in 12 minutes. Aurora nodded. Put me through to all sector commanders. The holotable lit up. Dozens of faces appeared, admirals, generals, resistance leaders from across the planet. Some stood inside bunkers deep beneath mountains, others on board ships orbiting Mars or docked above Africa's equator. Their expressions varied: fear, defiance, exhaustion. Aurora spoke clearly. In less than 2 days, alien forces will attempt planetary eradication. There won't be reinforcements. No allies are coming through deep space. It's just us. Humanity holds the line here. She paused, scanning their faces. We won't match them in size or technology. But we are unpredictable. We adapt quickly. We fight hardest when cornered. Use every advantage: terrain, atmosphere, silence, deception. Don't fight for medals. Fight for the right of our species to exist. No one interrupted. When the transmission ended, the commanders saluted, not by protocol, but by will. Geneva. The United Earth Council chamber was sealed with blast shutters. Outside, civilians queued for shelter placement, carrying children and suitcases. Sirens wailed intermittently. President Ward sat at the head of the circular table, face younger than his eyes. General Kane's actions have committed us to war, said Chancellor Huang flatly. She committed us to survival, replied Admiral Rousseau. Ward exhaled. This council will not interfere with military deployment. Earth needs a single voice now. He pressed his thumb to a glass panel, authorizing global martial command to Aurora. No applause followed. Only silence and the weight of history. 36 hours left. The moon base trembled slightly as fleets launched. Gunmetal exosuit soldiers filed into assault transports. Dropships, gliders, stealth corvettes, all propelled toward orbital defense lines. In the docking bay, mechanics tightened plasma couplers, sealed oxygen tanks, whispered prayers. Colonel Morgan approached Aurora at the rail overlooking the bay. Armored division from the Pacific just landed. Europa's ice miners sent every shuttle they had. Even ex-convict laborers volunteered for shield assembly. Aurora didn't smile. Desperation makes honest soldiers. Morgan sighed. You haven't slept. No time. Humans think better with rest. She glanced at him. Aliens don't care if I'm rested. He fell silent. 29 hours left. Reports streamed in. Alien drones scouting Earth's poles, unidentified signals near orbital elevator cables, sabotage detected at a fusion plant in New Jakarta. A senator from Eastern Europe tried to establish private communications with the alien fleet, offering surrender. Aurora intercepted the transmission before it reached orbit. She summoned him to a restricted chamber on the lunar base. His hands shook as guards forced him to kneel. You're sentencing billions, he stammered. There's no winning this. We must submit. Aurora's tone stayed level. You tried to give them our defense grid coordinates. I was trying to save lives. You were trying to save your own. Her sidearm remained holstered. She didn't need it. Guards. Detain him. No further contact with civilian government unless approved. The doors sealed. Loyalty returned to silence. 24 hours left. Encrypted signals flashed from Martian colonies, offer of fighter squadrons and repair drones. The Titan gas harvesters donated antimatter cells. Even the vagabond pirate ships from the asteroid belt pledged support. In a brief pause, Aurora stood alone in the chapel-like quiet of the lunar memorial corridor. Along the wall were names carved into black stone: Martian war dead. Her brother Noah Kane. She traced his name with a gloved hand. Did you know it would come to this? She whispered. A soft voice interrupted. It was pilot Aria Holt, ace of the Lunar Night Squadron. Ma'am. Sorry. Communications are waiting. Aurora stepped away from the wall. No need to apologize. Aria hesitated. Permission to ask, aren't you afraid? Aurora's eyes stayed fixed on the Earthrise beyond the window. Fear keeps us alive. Just don't let it choose for you. 18 hours left. Alien vessels shifted formation. Their fleet expanded like a swarm of dark arrows, surrounding the planet in a triangular siege configuration. Energy signatures, immense, rising, indicated charging of their primary planetary weapon. Fort Armstrong went into total combat lockdown. Steel barriers sealed corridors. Medical units unpacked trauma kits. Mechs, 8 meters tall, stood powered but idle. Aurora entered the command bridge. Open a direct line to their flagship. Technicians froze. General? Do it. Static. Then King Exorvatha's towering visage materialized. Aurora didn't blink. We see your fleet moving. What's your next move? Exorvatha's eyes glowed. You have less than one cycle to kneel. Instead, you provoke me. You came to our home, Aurora replied. We're just turning on the lights. His lips curled. When my cannons fire, your oceans will boil. Your cities will melt. You will beg for chains. Aurora leaned forward. You still think we're afraid? He leaned back. No. I think you're deluded. The transmission ended without ceremony. Colonel Morgan exhaled. Why provoke him now? To keep him watching me, Aurora said quietly. So he doesn't see what we're preparing behind him. 10 hours left. Families hid beneath reinforced shelters. Streets emptied. Oceans reflected alien vessels like dark stars. News feeds stopped counting hours. They counted heartbeats. On the lunar bridge, Aurora watched holographic timers. Alien weapon firing sequence, 10 minutes. Trident emergency deployment, 7 seconds. Colonel Morgan said softly. Any final orders? Aurora's voice was barely above a whisper. Hold the line. 3 hours left. Earth looked peaceful from space, too peaceful. Cities were darkened, skies quiet, oceans still. Only military satellites glowed faintly, waiting. Aurora transmitted one final message, unbroadcast, encrypted, to every soldier, pilot, and engineer. They think this planet will fall in minutes. Prove them wrong. When the sky burns, hold. When they break our shields, strike back. Humanity has no backup world. This is it. 1 hour. Alien weapons powered. Lightning danced across their hulls. Colonel Morgan looked to Aurora. General? She stared at the countdown. 0 approached. Arm the EMP net, she said. And the railguns? Everything. 3 seconds. Earth's sky lit with a blinding white lance from the alien flagship. Aurora's eyes hardened. Fire! The alien superweapon fired. A white spear of energy cut through the void, aimed at Earth's equator. Power levels exceeded anything recorded, enough to turn continents into glass. But before it made contact, Aurora gave the final command. EMP net detonate. Invisible satellites linked in formation released a synchronized electromagnetic pulse. It rippled across low orbit in a silent wave. The alien beam flickered, then died. Shockwaves rippled through every enemy vessel. Lights across their hulls dimmed. Engines stalled. Shield matrices shattered like glass. In less than a second, over 60% of the Zereth fleet drifted powerless, motionless against the black. Railguns! Aurora ordered. From orbit, tungsten rods accelerated to Mach 30. They struck alien dreadnoughts like lightning given form, silent but devastating. Ships fractured. Fire blossomed across the sky. Colonel Morgan whispered, "It's working." "No," Aurora replied, eyes fixed on the screen. "It's beginning." Alien command ships recovered faster than expected. Their cores reignited, shields repaired. King Exorvatha's flagship alone remained untouched, a fortress bristling with ion cannons and armor thicker than mountain stone. Exorvath appeared again on intercepted transmissions. His voice trembled, not with fear, rage. "Kill every human ship. Burn their moon." Aurora's response was simple. "Deploy Blackstar." Every officer turned sharply. Blackstar was Earth's last resort, a dark matter warhead capable of collapsing mass into singularity. Never tested. Risk unknown. Morgan hesitated. "If it destabilizes the orbit." Aurora's gaze didn't leave the flagship projection. "Prepare the drop pod." Above Earth, chaos ignited. Alien drop pods rained through the atmosphere, striking cities with sonic booms: Tokyo, Berlin, Cairo, Johannesburg. Infantry units in silver armor emerged, weapons pulsing violet light. Human forces met them in streets and skies. Exosuit soldiers fired rail rifles, powered mechs charged through smoke, fighter jets screamed through cloud layers. Over New York, Lieutenant Aria Holt led her squadron of stealth interceptors. "Night Squadron, engage!" She dove between skyscrapers, locked onto alien drones swarming Times Square, and unleashed a barrage that turned metal into molten debris. Ground forces held intersections, using collapsed buildings for cover. Civilians sheltered underground, listening to muffled explosions like thunder underwater. Lunar orbit burned with war. Aurora stood in the command bridge as railguns recharged. "Focus fire on their right flank cruiser." Firing. An alien cruiser split apart, scattering debris like steel raindrops. A young officer's voice cracked. "General, enemy boarding pods heading for Lunar Base Dock 4. Aurora didn't flinch. "Seal corridors. Vent the outer hangar. No breaches." "Yes, ma'am." Morgan stepped closer. "Blackstar team ready?" Aurora nodded. "Launch." Inside a pitch-black launch bay, a small stealth shuttle disengaged from Fort Armstrong. It carried only 3 people and the dark warhead locked within cryograph clamps. Their mission: board the enemy flagship and plant Blackstar at its core. As it slipped into silence, Aurora whispered through comms, "Make it count!" King Exorvath strode through his throne chamber, steps echoing on obsidian floors. "Their resistance is pestilent. Increase output to primary cannon." Advisors bowed. None dared mention the outage, the destroyed ships, the unexpected human ferocity. Exorvatha's eyes narrowed. They still fight. Not with reason, nor logic, they fought with something raw. He dismissed it as desperation. That was his mistake. Minutes passed like hours. The human shuttle clamped onto a ventral docking port of the alien flagship. Hull cutters ignited, slicing into the metal skin. Marines in black exosuits slipped inside. Radio silence. No screams, only short status updates. Entry secured. Corridor clear. Hostiles ahead. Gunfire. Then silence again. Morgan tracked their vitals from the bridge. One signal went dark. Then another. Only one remained. Aurora listened. Finally. Breach into core chamber. Arming Blackstar. A pause. 2-minute timer active. Aurora exhaled once. Confirm exit route. Static hissed. No exit, ma'am. Door sealed from their side. Panel fused. Aurora closed her eyes but kept her voice firm. Understood. The Marine's breathing steadied. Tell them, we weren't prey. Transmission ended. On the alien flagship, alarms screamed in an ancient tongue. Energy signatures spiked, radiation unknown, unstable. Exorvath stood, cloak whipping. What have they done? His advisors looked to the core display, dark matter ignition. A singularity forming. He stared at the screen where Aurora Kane's image appeared, cold as winter steel. She spoke. 2 seconds. His voice shook. You would destroy everything? Even yourselves? Aurora didn't blink. We'd rather burn than kneel. Blackstar detonated. For a fraction of a heartbeat, silence. Then space bent inward. The flagship folded like paper into a point of light, vanishing within a growing sphere of darkness that swallowed steel, bone, and arrogance. On every human ship, readings spiked, gravitational distortion. But it stabilized. The singularity collapsed in on itself, sputtered, died. The flagship was gone. Alien forces froze. Then fled. Earth's skies cleared slowly. Burning wreckage descended like falling stars. Cities smoldered. Oceans reflected fire and ash. Hospitals overflowed. But humanity stood. On the lunar bridge, no cheers erupted. Only slow breaths, tears, silence. Colonel Morgan whispered, "It's over." "Not yet," Aurora said quietly. She transmitted a final message across all remaining alien frequencies. "Earth stands. Return, and you will fall the same way." Silence answered her. Hours passed. Rescue ships descended to ruined cities. Civilians emerged from shelters, blinking beneath red dawn skies. Soldiers carried wounded comrades. Flags rose over shattered buildings. Aurora visited the memorial corridor again. Fresh names would join the old. She rested a hand against the stone. Morgan approached. "President Ward wants to award you the Earth Medal of Honor." "I don't want medals. He also says the people want to hear from you." Aurora walked to the observation deck. Earth rotated peacefully. Clouds drifted over continents scarred yet alive. She activated global broadcast. Her voice was steady. "We survived not because we were strong, but because we refused to yield. Let this be remembered, not as victory, but as a warning. Humanity bends to no empire." She ended the transmission. For a moment, she stood alone with the stars. Then she whispered, so only she could hear, "Let them come again."